mouse cursor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Future Perfect. Ooh, Future Perfect on your hat, or actually FloorSeats.
Hold everybody.
Episode
Relax with these
8.
names.
I go by the name of Tax. I got my man Zan over to the left of me. How you doing, Zan?
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's going on? Your boy Zan here, another episode. It's another day in the life. What can I say?
How's your week been, man?
I've been kicking it back this week. Just took some time to kind of collect myself. Just got to sit down and do a lot of things I didn't really give myself time to do. To kind of just get my mind to clear my mind, really.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's important, man. Just I took a lot of time like that last week. Also, I didn't say last episode, but quickly, rest in peace to my man Drew Brees, not the football player, just a local artist we were cool with. He passed away on the 30th. And then I also found out that Proper G, he just passed not long ago too. I just found that out I think yesterday, which is crazy, man. Yeah, rest in peace to them. Great dudes. Proper G, I think, was kidney failure, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know
I remember
what Drew Brees was from, but
how old was
yeah,
Papa G?
man.
How old?
He was like our age. I'd have to double check, but
Kidney failure?
Yeah.
At our age?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. He's had some complications though.
Damn.
I know he was like in his late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but rest in peace to him for sure. Rest in peace to Drew Brees, the Giant. I just want to get that out there. It's been
to him
and their families too. You know,
their own.
It's been like an interesting week with everything going on. Sometimes you get so caught up in what's going on, like in our country, that you don't notice what's going on with people just locally.
Arm's
You know
reach.
what I mean? Yeah, like the people within arm's reach. So check on your loved ones, make sure everyone's okay.
And it's life.
Life's still happening despite the shit that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying?
So it's hard to level, man.
Whoa, something just happened there. That sounded crazy.
Yeah, I did pick up on that too. It was like some feedback, static, and even the camera kind of. Oh, someone in the mainframe or something. I'm like, nigga, somebody is hitting us with the okay, I'm in.
This shit's encrypted, so I don't know.
Nah, someone's in. Someone's in when they're not supposed to be.
It's using enhanced encryption. But yeah, rest in peace to them. Condolences to their families. Aside from that, though, I've been learning like a lot of interesting things. Like I realize it's hard to be like a pretty nigga now in like the past couple of years. Like when we were kids, like I was not a pretty boy, but like for the most part, like I didn't have a lot of facial hair, so I'd wake up, shower, put on my clothes, brush my waves, and be out the door. Or if I had like braids or something, just take off the do rag and then get rocking. Like now, bro, there's products for everything, bro. There are so many beard products, so many hair products now. Like there are beard do rags now.
Yep, I peeped. It's legit.
Bro, I saw an ad for it.
Yeah. Wow. Really? Damn. We're getting hit, dog. I saw an ad. Is it legit? It's just black. Goes around the. They even show it. This is.
I'm like, yo,
around the ears.
That's crazy. I'm like, there's so much like now. What the hell was that?
Yeah, there it is again. I feel like it's like something with the. Is it your jack? Maybe.
It might be this headset. I don't know. This shit's kind of weak. So I'm gonna try not to move around too much. But no, there's so much now as an adult and like this stuff like wasn't really a big deal then, or it was just some kind of like celebrity secret shit or something. Because like I could have sworn like, you know, older heads like were not wearing fucking beard do rags and
Yo,
fucking
those
taking
niggas
sea
weren't.
moss gold and all this other stuff, which I mean that's helped me, but like,
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
bro, self care like is like at an all time high now, which is great. Because I'd rather do this stuff than medicine. But damn, this shit gets overwhelming sometimes.
Nah, man. I think it's when now self care. I think now is just self care became marketable enough for people to invest into it. Enough people care. I think people will realize like the market will sway to whatever people care about. So if people start caring about themselves more and taking care of themselves, like companies are just gonna be like self care products are gonna start booming. So if people that's legit another example of like uh the power of the dollar, dog. That's
Yeah,
legit right
because
there.
I can't just like, wake up, brush my beard, brush my hair, brush my teeth, put some in the beard, brush it a little bit, and step out the door. Like, nah, people's waves are spinning like crazy. People's beards are
Now
immaculate.
you have no
Like,
excuse.
you have to
You actually
compete.
you have to maintain people start pulling out scouters on you,
Yeah,
start checking the level of your waves, and they're like, whoa,
like even now,
waves
my
ain't
beard
spinning
is,
like that.
yeah, like my beard right now is long, but like,
They're gonna hit you with the
yeah, like I
this
still
wave
gotta go
level.
through and get something for the beard kit
Get you.
and help, like,
Yeah.
tame this shit and all that. I'm like, yo, it's crazy, bro. Like self care is at an all time high. I feel like
Right.
Philly had the secret the whole time, and then one Philly nigga is just like, you know what I mean? he's like, I'm about to bag this up and sell it, bull.
I know he really did. He took all the olds, put all the olds in a bag.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's
Took
crazy,
that,
man.
took
But
that to market.
yeah, like my beard still ain't even fully connect like my mustache yet, so I'm waiting for that to
I'm
finish.
seeing progress on mine though. I don't even see it. My camera's kind of trashed. It never gotten this far before for the
See,
kudos
quarantine's
here.
helping niggas out, bro. Your beard would have never gotten that far had you been able to get a haircut regularly.
Facts, right? No, it really had. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. And it's because it's just even like I shaved like once early on in quarantine because there was this one time for work I knew we were gonna be on Zoom. Like it was like that one time I was like, okay, I think after this time we won't have to really show our faces on Zoom. So like I just wanted to be like I just be okay looking for that and then just let it all go and never turn the camera back on again for like the next 2 months.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what it is. But you're right. I never would have had this. I never would have connected this far. But I gotta get a haircut though. That's gonna happen.
I'm gonna get one at
Gotta
some point.
schedule.
At
And
some
you
point,
said
I'm
at
gonna do
some
it.
point. I'm saying soon. And I gotta schedule an appointment. This might be the first time I gotta. Well, this is my first official appointment. I've so called scheduled appointments for haircuts that weren't actually appointments. So I had those with barbers. I can't. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go into that. But nowadays, with things reopening, gotta schedule. You gotta schedule them haircuts.
Bro,
As
that
an
shit's
appointment.
weak, bro. I don't have to schedule an appointment with my barber. I like walking in there and
Do
be like,
it.
yo, how many you got? All right, word. Even when you
Nah.
schedule, they be going behind. They be like, oh, come in at 1. You don't get your haircut until like
Oh
2:15.
no, and then some people were like, "Oh, hold on, he been waiting, he been waiting." I'm like, "I've been waiting. Who's it?" I'm like, "Yo, he just dog. You said after this, after so and so." Then he's like, "No, no, no, after him now." I'm like, "Yo, dog, don't hit me with." I'm like, "Bro, nah," because this especially was hilarious. I saw that episode of Atlanta the other day, season 2, uh, with Bibby.
Yeah.
Dog, that legit. That's how it really be feeling like. when you want a cut, and your barber has to do everything in the world before they give you a cut. Oh man, that's how it feel like, y'all. I gotta just, I had to, look into the camera real quick. That's how I really be feeling like for a cut. Imagine now, what? Imagine now. That's gonna be like, it's not even gonna be half of it.
Yeah, man. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna hold out for a bit. There's like no rush for me to get a real haircut, although my sides are starting to get in kind of thick. So I might do something, and I'm thinking about doing something with this hair because this shit is like touching my nose now. So like shit's getting crazy. So like a lot of my shit goes
You have
like
to get the
to
pompadour,
my
dog. Bring
beard.
that back.
I'm gonna go with no,
Do it for the real ones.
but nah.
Salute
But
to real niggas who borrow. Either black, either black. Who
there was a
borrow.
nigga I worked with that had a pompadour. He dead ass looked like Josuke nigga. It was a nigga too. I
That's
was
real
like, it
G
was an
shit
old
right
head.
there.
It was,
Ooh,
it was an old head with a pompadour.
okay, damn.
I was like,
Yo,
damn, this
that's
nigga
kind of
man's
hard.
is
I'm trying to think.
crazy.
I'm thinking that. I'm like, damn, yo, he really. If some people pulling that off real life, that is actual. That is actual G shit. I wish I could pull that shit out, bro. Man.
I don't know, but where do you want to start today?
Uh, let's see. Just real quick. How about I guess we'll do one of these little life lessons. To It's called fact check, and I need fact check your sources, and I think I mean that it's across the board. Because it's surprising now that you could declare yourself a billionaire and not actually be a billionaire, and Forbes will take your word for it. Not like it sound like that, but that's what it sounds like, face value, because in their article too, I'll pull it up here because this is where I first heard it. How Forbes, oh yeah, let me just be clear. So Forbes recently came out with an article, kind of dragging Kylie Jenner's name, basically calling her and her family out, saying she lied about her billionaire status and that she's not actually a billionaire. Um, and Forbes was like they overestimated, or however you want to say it, their value, and kind of like how much she was actually selling her makeup for, or whatever, how much she was actually making from it. So because of that, like the family came out with a rebuttal saying like they were upset. Um, no, I'm good. Uh, Later or something. Yeah, the family they came out just basically being upset about the whole thing, about how it all came or how they went about it. But I'm just like, why? I'm like, why are you upset? Like, no, there's like they were gonna try to. Let me just pull it up here. That Forbes article. Basically, what I'm trying to get to is it's just like you basically lied about how much you were worth because that equated to what, like your value, your wealth was equating to, how much deals and how much press and attention you would get, which also can then could turn into value. And when that comes out that that's not being, that's a lie, and then Forbes goes to come out with an article saying that's a lie. Well, I mean, like, let's be clear. Uh, how did something like this not get checked? Like, like that's really what I want to get to. How does that not get checked?
Man, I think they're both complicit in this shit. I think like with like the Jenners, that household, they're looking for headlines. It's a great headline if Kylie's a billionaire off for her cosmetic lines and other endorsements. I think Forbes knew they would get great press from posting a story like that. And then when Elon Musk started calling niggas out for it, then it's like, oh yeah, well they're not a billionaire, but they're valued at like 900 million. I'm like, I think they knew that from the jump. and just kind of tried to like cover their tracks as far as like knowing that Kylie was not a billionaire.
So, but think about this then. So, what does that even mean? Because of these headlines, especially from Forbes, that has taken, 30 under 30, like that, they come out with these well-known type of articles or compilings or lists that, which I don't know now. Maybe this is how Forbes was back in the day, but people talk about Forbes in their raps, like about how they track or know people who have money, and like, but I feel like Forbes has become more pop culture, or maybe I know they try to appeal more pop culture. Forbes doesn't seem as serious from how I viewed it growing up.
Well, it's these doofy ass lists they keep coming out with, the hip hop cash kings and all this other stuff. Like honestly, it's a doofy ass list. Like nobody cares. Like, ooh, Kylie made $900 million instead of a billion. Like, is
Yeah, but
it?
no, but you see what I'm
People
saying
like
though.
50. This is the byproduct of niggas like 50 Cent. Like where his whole thing when he was on top was pulling the numbers. Like, all right, well, you sold this many units, like you made this amount of money. Like, you know what I mean? Hit niggas with hard numbers and hard facts. So this is the only reason why stuff like this is popular, because of niggas like 50 Cent. Matter of fact, 50 Cent might be solely responsible for, the advent of doofy ass lists like this.
But
Like,
tell me, no, but like, by they saying like, you won't catch, like, but like Raymond Ross was mentioning, like, you don't catch him in the Forbes. Like basically, it was like the list of when I feel like when back in the day, I'm saying what back in the day, what it meant to be in Forbes doesn't mean the same thing as it does now.
well, I agree with that to an extent. Like, one, there weren't many, like, at least it didn't.
But how did the Forbes itself as like how it carried itself? It kind of like people like Forbes, even like in movies, like people is like, yo, like someone from Forbes like is gonna like interview you and stuff like that. Because like they didn't, when someone was coming out self-made or someone was like that new person of newly established wealth, that didn't happen so much. But maybe it's a testament to that too. But even the way they went about it, there was like a certain amount of, I don't know, class or like attention to detail. maybe that is just that too for
Well,
them to,
so the thing is, right?
and compared to now. That's
It's
me.
it's a multifaceted thing. So it's not just like 50 Cent. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm.
they realize is that with people, with the advent of internet and social media and stuff like that, like people don't particularly care about these like billion or $1 million CEOs that they never heard of unless they're making a presence for themselves. Like like the Elon Musk or like the Jeff Bezos of the world. You know, normally if they're not like making a presence known, then no one knows about them and no one cares. Like in the internet driven world where headlines drive clicks, which drive ad revenue and stuff like that, you know they're jumping on the bandwagon of celebrities and stuff like oh, top 30 under 30 or something like that, or like hip hop cash kings and all this stuff like that, because it will generate clicks, which generates ad revenue. Like, so, you know, that's why stuff like this happens. That's why the prestige is lowered, because one, that, but also two,
So the
when
prestige is lowered. So that's
I
another.
feel
So I
like,
mean,
but
yeah, that's
that's
what I agree with as
also,
well. The prestige is lowered.
I feel like part of that is because of the age of the internet, and like their content has to be more palatable and more accessible to a wider group of people. The other thing too is like it also is a bit different now, because what's happening is a lot of black athletes, actors, and musicians are making it onto these Forbes lists, and they have to appeal to us, the people in hip hop that care about this stuff. So, when the bar to make these multi-millions is lowered, sometimes you get cornballs that make it onto these lists. Like, yo, that person's a complete doof, but here they are making millions of dollars because of the internet. Like Soldier Boy for a while was like Soldier Boy exists purely because of the internet, and his manipulation of the internet gets him talked about. I don't know if he's ever been in Forbes, but because of the internet and he knows how to work the internet, I don't think he's ever really gonna go broke.
Nah, nope, nope.
And so
I
this
think
is
he
how like
solidified himself in a in the internet in such a way that if he comes out and he knows how to make a headline, yeah, those will convert into clicks, and those clicks will convert into money.
yeah, Forbes I remember for the longest was like, you know, doing stories on like the Fortune 500 companies and ranking them, and then also interviewing their CEOs and CFOs and stuff like that. But because now like the internet has made it so much easier to make millions of dollars that it kind of like it, it may have hurt the content a bit, because it's like, all right, well, like if Soldier Boy can make millions of dollars, like anybody can. And like this is just how the internet works. So like
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
like the product gets
shattered.
the product gets stepped on. And like with this Kylie Jenner situation, like I feel like Forbes knew the whole time. Like it's not a headline to say, "Oh, Kylie Jenner, made $900 million." It's a headline to say Kylie Jenner is the first billionaire under 30 or something like that. It's a better headline than saying, "Oh, Kylie Jenner made 900 million." Now she made close to a billion, but like they knew that making the headline would work. Now maybe they didn't like fully fact check, but they knew that that headline was a better headline than any other headline that they can have. They know the popularity of the
My
Jenner
internet,
Kardashian, huh?
I think it says my internet connection is unstable because your screen was frozen for some time.
Oh, well, yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, so like they know the popularity of the Kardashians and the Jenners. They know the kind of traction that will bring to Forbes and stuff like that. So it makes sense. Like, do I feel like they may have like just taken their word for it? Partially, yeah. They probably been like, yeah, like, all right, well, sure, she made $1 billion, and kind of just took their word for
Man,
it.
Dre needed the numbers. Come on, because Dre needed the numbers. Jay needed the numbers.
Well,
They
come
maxed
on, let,
him on the dot. I'm just saying. I'm just saying when because I remember was it 1.8 when he crossed. No, let me see. Let me see. Like, oops. It's always when you have these two keyboards. Just hold up. I'm not trying to maybe not make it about anything, but what I will say then is this though, because what it also did, what did Kylie Jenner get out of it with those headlines, like deals, like she got deals, ad revenue, and just like traction to all her businesses that equated to money. Like, so yeah, you can say, all right, they just lied, they just do what things always do, but look what they could do with just lying. Like, it's not even just that anymore. Like, I think, we gotta really call it for what it is. It's just like, it's you're creating it's like, so yeah, self promotion through lying. If it's like agreed on both, if you think it's mutual on both sides. I mean, I'm just like, if that's where things have gotten, then there's more reason I stop paying attention to all that.
yeah, I think,
So like, it's just saying, like, it's weird that they go back. My bad. I was just saying it's weird that as they go back to bash them about something mistake that they also made. That's also a thing too. I don't know if like Forbes. I gotta double check if Forbes was more accountable on their part on just like their actual research on that whole thing. But
bro, nobody's immune from being corny and looking for clicks and you know that kind of stuff. Like, not even Forbes is. Like, come on, like our news media outlets twist headlines and shit like that. Like, It doesn't surprise me. I don't feel like they fully fact checked, but at the same time, they heard that she's worth $1 billion. They thought of this great story they could put behind it, and they knew that what they would do for their ad revenue if they put out an article like that. So they're both complicit as far as I see.
Straight. No, whatever. I guess yeah, that's that. That's news on that. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, that's another testament to our part that we, as you know, consumers of this information, to fact check things for ourselves. Just that for all things in general. Uh, just to keep the ball rolling, because we do have some things we'll definitely touch on today. Uh, oh, did we do the update on? My bad. Update on the movement, Black Lives Matter movement.
No, you didn't. We didn't do that. If you want to take that. I think
Yeah.
that is me. That's my making that noise.
Oh, is it on my end or your end?
No, it's me.
Oh, okay.
I either need a different headset or I need to. I'll figure something out, but I'll be careful.
All right. Oh, no worries. I just wasn't sure if it was the connection on my end because I'm on Wi-Fi. I think I could get the Ethernet, but I don't know if it'll come all the way up on this desk. Rather not try. So, as I pull this up here, for those who are just tuning in, you know, welcome to FloorSeats. I go by Zan, that's Tax. Like, comment, and subscribe on the content. If you like what you see, definitely let us know, you know, what you think. Just about, you know, what we talked about so far, you know, about the articles and, you know, fake headlines pretty much that kind of benefit only those involved. But yeah, if you like what you see, let us know. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the podcast as we get into just a quick update. Because I know with regarding the cops that were charged for the murder of George Floyd, it went from third-degree murder to second-degree murder.
Yeah. So I think one of the police officers bailed out a $750,000 bail or bond or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about how the charges got upgraded last week.
Yeah, Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, he's not the one that bailed out, right?
No, he was the one that had his knee. So he was the cop with his knee on George Floyd's neck.
No, I'm saying he didn't bail out though.
He was the one that had the $750,000 bail, and he was bailed out.
Oh, what? Let me check that real quick. I saw the headline.
Wait. Yeah, because it was said. Oh, Thomas Lane. No, there was a name. It was Thomas Lane.
Yeah, it wasn't him that bailed out.
No, it was one of the four. But his bail was $750K. I'm sorry, I had that wrong. So Thomas Lane's bail, he was one of the four cops. Not one of the ones. He wasn't the one that pinned George Floyd's neck. But his bail was $750K. But he made bail. But
yeah, there apparently people were looking, you know, into the past experience because apparently, you know, the cop and George Floyd, they worked together at a nightclub, so they're closely trying to figure out the relationship between those two to see if it could have been anything like premeditated or like a hate crime or something of that sort. So they're doing a lot of investigation on that. Um, they're talking about defunding the police. Um, a lot of areas, and in like Minneapolis, they're talking about like not having police at all, possibly. Um,
Hmm.
defunding or like cutting funding, I'd say was the better term. I feel like that would be okay because these police departments have crazy budgets while low income neighborhoods don't get anything. These schools don't really get anything, but the police get like the latest and greatest of
Really?
everything.
Yeah, these kind of wild budgets that I wasn't even I wasn't fully aware that they were receiving. I did not know that their budgets were this huge. Like like that was that was actually I thought they were well funded, but I guess I didn't know what well funded meant.
Yeah, I for one,
I
I'm
learned something.
not for the idea of necessarily like getting rid of the police, but
No.
cutting funding is good. I
Yeah.
watched a video where someone from Minneapolis was saying that like yeah they're gonna want to get rid of the police, but then when asked like all right well what are you gonna do with like if your house gets broken in the middle of the night, they didn't have an answer for it. They kind of just brushed it over. Um, I don't think that we should completely get rid of the police. I think cutting
No.
funding is one thing. I think also like you know uh, restructuring police and retraining police is another thing as well. But getting rid of them
Yeah.
completely is ridiculous.
And
Um,
community leaders should be definitely more involved in the police. Like police, it should be like a more community and police relationship, like community leaders and uh like community centers, like based around like youth and stuff like that. Just need to be more. There needs to be a more transparent relationship, just so that there's less intent, like there's um, less experiences of where police can come in contact with youth, which you think should, there shouldn't be any radical type of behavior, but if they're able to have a more transparent relationship, there should be no reason for these shootings to happen, right? I'm just trying to like use people's logic of why they say these things, these these mishappenings go. I mean, I don't know if my point's being clear, but um, just basically saying that there needs to be something to also basically defend the youth, as well. That gives them some protection as well against the police. That's all I have to say. Especially more times out of 10, either it's, teaching them their rights, um, or just also make it the police more accountable when it comes to youth.
yeah. So we'll just have to see what's going on with that. Like, I would love to see honestly how that experiment goes of like Minneapolis getting rid of their police departments. Because I honestly think it's going to turn into GTA Online. But I'm open to being wrong. I don't think that's going to work for everywhere
I
in America, especially. Uh,
Yeah, but it definitely has to start somewhere. That's the thing. It's like pulling teeth,
yeah, I don't. I just kind of want to see it so that way, like,
but it has to happen.
to see if what's going to happen. And then also like,
A simulation, a run, a trial run.
yeah, and then I also, have noticed that there's been a lot of like kind of anti-gun conversations during this, and I don't know that I agree with that either. I think it's been difficult enough for some of us, like people of color, to acquire guns.
Who
But I think
says? Who says that? Where is these anti-gun talk coming from?
I seen a video last month where Charlemagne was on MSNBC, and the host basically was saying, like the way she reacted to it, she was kind of saying that like black people shouldn't own guns or shouldn't have guns because what he was saying was that black people should legally own and learn how to use a firearm
Yeah,
for self-defense, and that also, you know, Ahmaud Arbery might not be dead if he had a firearm, which I completely agree with. I think
yeah.
it'd be a different story if he had a firearm on him. To which she was saying, like, the host is like, oh, well, we don't want to give, we don't want everybody to have guns so they can attack each other and stuff like that. But he's like, that's not what I said. I'm like, I said, this is purely for defense, and that, this gentleman could be alive had he had a firearm, on him. So, I think everybody should be able to, you know, exercise their Second Amendment right, protect themselves, protect their home, protect their family. I mean,
Oh,
this isn't granted, there's bad sides to everything. Don't get me wrong, but I think, you know, guns get a negative connotation, especially in the black community, where in the white community, they're not. Like, guns have a way better rap in the white community than they do in, the black community. And I
for
think we
whatever
got to,
reason.
yeah, and I think we need to change that narrative. Like, we need to empower each other to learn how to legally use a firearm. We need to empower each other, to protect ourselves in our homes, and then work on conversations where, maybe we're not doing this stuff to each other. I mean, there's steps and stuff like that, but, I don't think getting rid of the guns is the problem. I think training
It's a
and,
tool at the end of the
yeah,
day. It's not. It's the person who's pulling the trigger and their
exactly.
reasons behind doing it. Let's understand that, break that down, and just be understand like that we need to instead of we need to protect ourselves and just protect our loved ones first, and then we could also then from there move on to protecting each other as a community.
Yeah. Another quick thing that I think I'm good as far as updates. So Bubba Wallace, he's probably the only black NASCAR driver in the entirety of NASCAR. He, made a call. He was calling for them to remove Confederate flags from the racetracks. Like, have these people stop bringing their Confederate flags to these, events and stuff like that. And
That's crazy. That's even allowed.
so
That's not.
NASCAR had a rule against it, but they weren't really enforcing it. So now they are like really going to enforce it. And, some driver came out, he's basically saying it's like, oh, well, this is going to be my last season racing. Um, I don't, I'm not a racist and I don't really care for the Confederate flag, but, I don't think we should tell people what kind of flags they could wave and stuff like that. Or I'm like, and it got me to an interesting point, right? So people's excuses for the Confederate flag, like why they do it, is not, they try to twist it into what it means to them rather than what it means.
Into what it actually means.
Yeah. So, like, as an example, if I'm white and I call you a nigger, like ER, and you get mad, and you're like, you can't call me that because that's a racial term, like it's derogatory towards black people. And I say, well, what it means to me is best friend. So, because I think it means best friend, you're my nigger. Like, no, that's not acceptable at all, because it's not about your interpretation of it. It's about what it stands for. It's about what it means. So,
Not
like,
what it means. Call
yeah,
for what it is.
it's the same thing with law. It's like, it doesn't matter what your interpretation of the law is. This is what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, once we get more of that, trust me, things will. I think things will start. Things will change when that happens for the law as well. I think a lot of too many loose interpretations, man.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm kind of like, it's like, you can say that this is what it means to you, but in reality, this is what it means. Like, I've had to cut people off years ago because this whole Confederate flag thing came up years ago, and I've cut off mad people from Facebook. I'm like, yo, you're forcing it. Like, as
That's
somebody that
nuts.
as somebody that like is friends with black people or was at one point really good friends with black people, like you're sitting here waving this Confederate flag and it's like, oh, what it means to me is Southern pride. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it meant to the Confederacy way back when, and then they lost, and yet they still get to wave their flag around like they actually accomplished something.
There's
Like,
a reason. I think there's a reason for that. One and two, because the people's like, "What is that?" Was people's like, "Yeah, Southern pride." You know what was? Yeah, you know what the Southern Confederacy thought was also pride. Pride, like owning slaves.
like if you were going to, if you
can't look
went
at one
around,
piece of the pie, then not the whole pie. Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
no, in peep game, right? So if you were to like be at one of these NASCAR events and you're waving your Haitian flag and stuff like that, they're going to tell you to put that flag away and all the stuff like that. But Haitians won more wars than the Confederacy did.
Ooh, ooh, damn.
So I'm like, at least you're waving the flag of a winning country, because the Confederacy did not win a single war.
Confederacy wasn't even a country. It was more like a faction. They were fighting to get control of the country, but their faction got, they lost.
They broke off from the U.S., from the Union. They got clapped, and then they came right back. At least with Haitians, you guys won your independence. It's more than what they can say about the Confederacy.
That's the facts. We're up one. We're up a game. We're up one.
Yeah, no, it's very clear that flag is about the hatred and the oppression of black people. And basically, you waving that flag is you saying that you think you're superior to black people and that you want things to go back to the way they were then.
Back when they had the frame data, they're like, damn man, you can't. No, but it is. That's call for what it is, man. Call for what it is. It doesn't get any complicated. Doesn't get more complicated than that.
And the irony is, the NASCAR driver that came out and said this, he never won a race either. So I'm like, you're just defending losers. I'm like, the Confederacy didn't win a war. You've never won a NASCAR race, and you have a problem with them saying, yeah, but you have a problem with them saying that, hey, you can't wave these Confederate flags. Like, granted, I don't know that this is going to make black people watch NASCAR more. I think it's pretty boring next to golf and like the Spurs. But
driving in circles, man.
But like at the same time, it's like, yo, like, NASCAR is arguably the most racist sport. Like, it's very clear that you're not wanted there.
Very clear. That's why more reason we steer away. And I'm like, shout outs to that one. That's what I'm telling you. That's why there's only one black NASCAR driver. Only one. I'm surprised y'all have one. Despite, think about it. That one, for that one NASCAR driver, despite how racist the sport is, you still have enough driver determination to become professional NASCAR driver. Dog.
I'm saying.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Then, I don't want to get too deep on stuff, but like even like things of, accusation of Boston sports fans like coming out, like, players coming out saying like, yo, Boston's like hella racist. I'm like, yeah, it is hella racist, because what they like, their racism is subtle and like covert until they get in front of a sports team and then you're all types of niggers. Like, bro, and
comes in the waves,
bro. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's like they bottle this stuff up from like weeks of like basically cutting black people off from like opportunities and stuff like that, and then when they finally get in front, like into a baseball field or something like that, then all that shit just comes out.
They're just feeling it that day, man.
No. And the Red Sox organization acknowledged it. Like, they're like, yes, this does happen. And we're going to do what we can to, like, for the longest, it was taboo to call Boston out on his BS. Now they're just like, yo, yeah, this is really happening and we need to fix it.
Man, it's that's why I had like when I was talking to my man, I was talking to my boy, like we haven't talked to each other in a minute, and just kind of like, yo, I don't know what surprises me more. It's just what I find out or what I come to learn, or like about myself, like it's about things, or just to find out, or just how ignorant, or how I guess you say ignorant. Should I say ignorant? That's the safe way to say it. Or yeah, just blind to things people could be, and it's so crazy, and you know what to say, what to make of it.
Bro, it's things
It's,
that we accept as normal that other
that's the
people
thing,
just won't tolerate. Like this kind of stuff is stuff we accept as normal.
and it makes us seem like we're the crazy ones. Like it makes me think like this seems something that seems so common sense, like just wanting, just wanting like the simple things that everybody else wants and that everyone else is promised. You just want what is promised, and it just blows my mind that people have such issues with it. Like I don't know. Like it blows my mind that there's such a but there's just a but. Like there's a like why is there a but? But nah, like that's how I gotta say about it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts, and that's
Yeah,
why I think do a little bring our attention to it. A little bit every episode.
yeah. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to hang too much on it.
no. I think we definitely we touched a good amount on that today, and then like we said, we'll update you guys more. As news develops, especially on the case with uh, the officer charged with now second-degree murder for George Floyd. And just another news, uh, we're gonna actually hop into gaming because we had some pretty interesting gaming news this week. Actually, some done some today. Primarily the PlayStation 5 gaming show that not only showed the upcoming consoles for launch, probably look like what for the first 2 years, 2 years of the life the PS5, but we actually get to see the console itself. Finally, we get to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's not even you wanna. No, I don't know if you
Before we
wanna.
before we get into that, I want to get
Yeah,
some like two quick things off. So sorry if you click this and anticipating us to jump straight into it.
yeah. Sorry, clickbait. We don't. We're sorry, but we're not really that sorry.
Look, Sega announced the Game Gear Micro. It's literally like this big. There's four of them, and it's four different titles. The shit's like an inch big, well, like 2 or 3 inches big. So you have to play it like this. There's
What?
four colors, and each color has a different library on them. And then you can buy all four if you wanted to in a pack, and it comes with a magnifying glass attachment. So instead of making like, you know, a slimmer Game Gear that have like a bunch of extra games on it, they're coming out with a micro Game Gear.
With a magnifying glass. Isn't that not? Wait, what? Like, what? Why though?
Bro, Sega had a huge announcement, and that was it. That they also have like something they call fog gaming, where basically like people in Japan are able to play against people in the arcades from home. Like their huge announcement was that we're thinking it's a brand new console. We're thinking like, hey, it's like a Dreamcast Mini or something, or like a Sega Saturn Mini.
People in Sega.
Sega's,
Remember that rumor? Remember that rumor that said that when people in Sega, when they came out with Sonic, they were doing like mad cocaine, like around when they came up with the idea of Sonic because they were about to go bankrupt.
I
What
wouldn't
was
be
that?
surprised.
Yeah, like I think it's fair to say I don't think they stopped doing cocaine. Like I don't think it's like because I feel like every time thing is we fall for it. Every time Sega says they have a big announcement coming up and they have like a big announcement, it's been something that's been pretty like mediocre, subpar, or just straight outlandishly dumb, like straight dumb, like
Nah,
dumb.
they're supposed to do something for
Nah,
Sonic
don't
this
defend
year.
Sega, dog. I thought
I'm
about
not.
this really hard. I
I'm
thought about
not.
this
I'm not.
really
I'm
hard
not.
like the other day
I'm
about
not
Sega.
defending though. I promise you this. They're
Oh
supposed to
my
have
god.
something for Sonic this year that's supposed to be big. And
Every
I
time they
am
said that, one time they said that, we had
Sonic Forces happened. That shit. Sonic Mania was good because like it
Sonic
was
Mania
like
was just the retelling of the classics that they know that they
no,
hit.
that was a
And
fan game that was developed by a select group of fan developers, and that's why it was good. Sonic Team was working on Sonic Forces, and that shit was trash.
bro, it's like what do they want? Like it's like they want this. Like they actually want this is what they want. It's like they know what they do. They know what they're doing, and they just can't stop. They can't stop themselves
Bro, the fans
from
tell them
making
exactly what
bad
they want.
Sonic games.
Like, if their games were as good as the Sonic Twitter, like, they would never lose.
They don't
The
want to
fan,
win. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just tired and it's like no. They're like this is not how we
the
want.
fans tell them exactly what they want. They do the opposite. It's crazy.
Remember that? Remember that scene in SpongeBob when Patrick was asking about his ID and he's like, "All right, so this is your name," and he was just like, "This is your picture." He's like, "Yup," and he was just like, "Yeah, this is your name." He was like, "Yep, sounds about right. So this make this. It's on an ID. So this makes this your ID." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yes, yeah, it makes sense. So this is your ID." He's like, "Nope, it's not mine." Like that's literally what
Yeah.
Sega is doing.
He's like, so
But
this is your
like,
wallet. He's like, nope, never seen it in my life.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, dog, that's what Sega is saying. It's like, so basically, you know what we want. It was just like, and then come out, yeah, Sonic Forces. And then we're like, you said you listened. You said you heard us. They're like, we did.
That game was $40 the next day. How bad that shit was. Bro.
Oh, man. I'm saying
Um
they're just doing drugs, man. That's it. I don't know. But that's,
in better news though, Arcade One Up showed off a couple new machines that they're working on. So Miss Pac-Man, which is huge for the old heads.
you
Then
always
they
know.
have a Marvel pinball one, which is interesting. Gets better.
Oh.
So they started doing light gun games. Excuse me. And while it's not Time Crisis like I was hoping, they're on the right track. They're doing like the big Game Hunter series. So that Arcade One Up has 2 shotguns on it. You know how like you see at the fucking movie theaters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have that. And the last one that they showed is X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel versus Capcom 1. And allegedly, there is a cabinet that has
I approve.
X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Street Fighter, uh, Marvel versus Capcom, and then I think the other like Marvel, the Marvel fighting game, the normal one. It's the Marvel exclusive one. The one that's like playing underwater. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, what?
Marvel superheroes. My bad.
Oh, so yeah. Oh, yeah. I was thinking, I was like, hey, what?
So apparently, there's a cabinet with all 4 of those
chamber.
on there, and the beat 'em ups on there as well, which is going to be crazy.
That's good. That's a good
X-Men
package.
versus Street Fighter alone is enough for me to jump in, but then Marvel's Capcom 1, if they'd have put 2 on there, it'd have been a wrap for sure. Instant.
Yeah, something about two that just doesn't. It's like they don't want to re-release it.
Yeah, 2 is wild. And in my journey of looking through it, I also saw that they had like the NBA Jam cabinet, which is the 4-player and it's online enabled. Man, I just wish I had space for this shit, bro. I want them shits, bro.
That's when we have the spot, the studio.
But yeah, so
Mm.
no prices or anything has been announced, but usually these things run about $500 or so, like $400 or $500. And there's no release dates on any of those either. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I signed up for email notifications because I'm trying to get that cabinet, bro. I ain't gonna hold you,
No,
especially that
dog.
one. Cause there's a red one that has like X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom, but there's a blue one that seemed to have all of them on there. And if that blue one is
I'll
like
cost a
limited
little more,
edition,
but
yeah, but it's definitely getting copped.
worth the cop. Yeah. Hmm.
Like for sure. Like I got the bread for it. I ain't even tripping.
And it's basically the cabinet, the classic cabinet, re revamped, redesigned with those games on it, and they're gonna ship it to you.
Yeah, I got the classic bat top and everything. Now, granted, I might mod it, put the ball top on there. We'll see what happens, but I ain't tripping. It's just, if they put two on there, it's a go, like for sure, without a doubt. But I'm going to get it. But if they put two over there, two on that as well, I'd have lost it, bro.
They need to do that. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm telling you, I don't know why they don't do it. They always hold back on two. They really ain't trying to release two. I'm just sticking by that. They just not. They refuse.
Oh no, man.
I don't
Um,
either, man.
but let's get into this PS5. Almost said four. Did you see the whole thing? If not, I can give you the rundown.
I did pause. I would love to play it. I forgot I paused it before we went on. I did catch. I think I'm just about at the point where I law when I hopped on the stream. I was on YouTube. I got on YouTube where I got on the YouTube stream, and then I went back to watch it. Just skipped through everything at the beginning to watch the trailers. Last thing I caught, I was like after I seen Spider Man. There was like the game where it looked like it was there's some another version of Death Stranding, but with uh, yeah, it kind of seemed like that. The story was like very Death Stranding-ish. It was like it was like an astronaut. I don't know, someone with a suit.
Oh, so about that, right?
Yeah, the planet's trying to become.
There are two games that have the same concept that were shown there. Like, so the loose concept of like, going through like a loop of time, like you die and then you wake back up and go through that loop of time again. It's that game, and there's another game. I forget what it's called. I think it literally is called Deathloop, but I might be wrong.
Oh, but yeah, best Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda. Um,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
and I was like, why are all these games copying Groundhog Day? Like, that's literally the movie Groundhog Day.
Dog, I don't know what is the trend. These games come off. It's like I feel like why is it the people who set the precedent or set these trends themselves start the conversations that no one is having with these games, and then at first the game's like, oh, these games people are not gonna like it. This game's man dumb or whatever. Give or takes. Death Stranding for example, and just that using that far off concept. And now it's just like now we're getting games that are just
You froze.
the I would say the genre that is Death Stranding. Like I see like the ties to it, and this is in that one other game. I guess it was just the loose feel, and not generalizing it. They could have been working on this the same time or before, um, you know, Death Stranding. But I don't know. Like there's just like you said, like why is everybody now just making games about Groundhog Day?
Bro, you know what I will say though?
Why?
I think Insomniac like really showed out this presentation. Um, they showed two games. They showed Spider Man, which looks great, and they
It
showed the
does,
new
and that's crazy. It's coming out this year, holiday 2020. So I had to say that. I was like, what?
and they showed the new Ratchet and Clank, which looks crazy.
Well, yeah, new Ratchet and Clank. I actually was like, so far, I think that was one of the best games I've seen. I know the one Square Enix announced the Athia is like Athia something, Project Athia.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be because it's gonna be an exclusive, of course, for the PS5. that looks like that's something that will grow. You know, that might be a new title. But like even from what I saw from that, like when Square Enix, I'm like, of course they're gonna show out. Like Ratchet and Clank, I was like, wow,
No,
that
I think
that
Ratchet and
looks
Clank,
real good. Like
they like Insomniac has a thing about like being very early on the tech, but then exploiting it for like the best it can get very early on with Ratchet and Clank. Like even with PS3, like the early Ratchet and Clank games have some of the best graphics of the generation.
just the fact that like the way you pull like you're pulling the riffs and
Yeah, that should
then
look crazy.
and then the camera and then it's just like the camera shift is just blends in like super clean. The cuts is crazy. I was like, whoa, and that's happening. Like the engine doesn't skip a beat, nothing. Like all that's happening while it's part of the gameplay. Especially how you change environments, like how it was in the trailer. I'm like, if that's actually how you will change from, say, you're going from like you could go from the mountains to like to the city, like seamlessly. Like I'm like, yo, I hope that was like actually in game. Was that you think I was in game?
Yeah, it's in game.
That's gonna be wild. That's gonna be dope. And then if all that's interactable, like all it's not just like fixed, all interactable. I was like, oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so I thought they did really good. The first Spider-Man got amazing reviews. I just didn't really care for it because, like, honestly, I'm kind of tired of playing as Peter Parker. But Miles Morales, for me, is like a character I'm not like super familiar with. So I'd be interested in it. Like, I don't really care so much that he's black per se, but I feel like it'd be an interesting story because, like, we all know the Peter Parker story has been told 1,000 times.
True.
So it'd be
I'm all
interesting
for
to see a
Spidey.
different
Period.
Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Um,
need to move that game up on my list. I had Spider Man.
we got trolled in the beginning. I don't know if you've seen it.
I
Rockstar.
skipped. I don't know. Wait, where? Because
Oh, it
I
was worth.
skipped
It
them.
was at the very beginning. It was worth skipping. I'll be honest with you. It was the first game they showed. So they saw the Rockstar logo, and everybody
Oh
thought
God.
you already know where this is going. But everybody thought it was Grand Theft Auto 6, but instead it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Of course.
They're releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS5.
For
They're just
PS5.
enhancing it and expanding it. So apparently they're probably going to give more support to GTA Online, and then from there, they're just going to enhance the graphics.
That
Which I
game
mean,
better be free.
it won't be. But I'm like, what's the
So
point
you're
of
gonna make
enhancing it,
people are gonna you're gonna really make people pay for GTA 5 for the 10th time in a row,
bro? Like
and
people
then
have GTA 5 on
they do
everything.
it with a smile on their face. That's the thing. Like Rockstar, I'm just like I get it. Take. I mean, the people that the diehards will buy it. Diehards will buy it.
Bro, it makes so much money. It's the highest selling video game of all time. It's now spanning 3 console generations. Like it
Oh
makes
my
so much money. These
god,
niggas are lazy. Like
that's how
they're just gonna take
lazy
the
they
PC
are.
port of the game and dump it onto the PS5. These are lazy. It is gonna sell because
They're gonna mix it around a little bit, throw a little salt and pepper. They're like, yeah, it's good enough. And then people are gonna jump over it, jump over tables to eat out of it, dog. No, it's crazy. No. I'm just like, yo, I was hoping, I was like, please do not even announce, do not give time, do not slap the Rockstar label because I know it's going to be another GTA. That's why I had to see it it was on a site that that was just as everything was covering, it was being updated with some of the games announced. Like there
yeah,
was like, I know there's something for Hitman 3. I didn't even seen it yet. I
the
know
Hitman looks crazy.
I
I
have
don't
to
play the
see.
Hitman games, but like I was telling the agent this, the agent 47. Um, right now, what they're doing with the PS5 graphic wise is that these environments are looking amazing. I just think they have to
Yeah.
figure out converting that into like character models. Like environmentally, like the ray tracing and the way these buildings look and stuff like that is immaculate. It's just a lot of the character models have to catch up to the rest of the like
That's
to
true.
the goddamn, rest of the
All
technology.
them triangles. Need more. I'm saying they just need more triangles. Need more
Bro, so
triangles in there, man. Like they're
um,
talking about.
they showed
Uh,
they showed Demon Souls, which I could have sworn they had a Demon Souls before. So is it like a remake or is this just like a new entry? Like I could have sworn there was a Demon Souls.
Jets are far short. Oh yeah, I just look on. I'm just going at the list. Not my bad. Oh, there's gonna be another Odd World Souls. Odd World title. Okay.
Yeah, so they are remaking Demon Souls for PS5.
So by remake, what did they? Cause was it because the Soul series? They're like, we want to not make any. Or is it the Dark Souls or is it the? I'm trying to get it. No, it was from the same people that made Dark Souls,
Yeah,
Demon Souls, but
they
they're
made
saying
Bloodborne.
they're saying they were trying to stray away from the genre, or they're trying to think of something new, take a new direction. They didn't want to keep on making the same games anymore, and like that's and then so I thought. I mean, I swear, I don't know. I've heard this that they were just like, no, we're that's why they were saying there was not going to be like a Bloodborne 2
That might be true, but
thing.
from a developer standpoint, it's definitely easier to enhance and like upgrade, give higher resolution textures and stuff to an old game rather than create something from scratch. And then also like Sony needs something in their launch window, so this buys them time.
Okay, so if they are working on something, then it's definitely not something. That's what I kind of am expecting a little bit because that's just like, okay, they gave us some things at launch. Like I think Capcom, for Capcom, for example, we could talk about if you want to go into Capcom, or you want to just still talk about.
No, no. With Capcom, we can talk about
Yeah,
Capcom. I just want to throw that blurb out.
no, yeah, no, same. And I think this will just to build off of that because like I feel like Capcom's been silent for a bit. I don't know if you noticed with like kind of gaming because we said like even for SF5, but I would say just in any major news. Um, but like until now, so we get um, announcement for the next Horizon Zero Dawn um, Forbidden West. So that the next title in that series.
Yeah.
We get uh, a somewhat cryptic trailer at the start of it, but as time, as time shows, the trailer I'm talking about, which seemed like at first a Silent Hill trailer, then ends up being Resident Evil 8, Village, or however, uh, Resident Evil 8. So we got to see Resident Evil 8. I was like, man, I even felt like, should I go back and rewatch what I watched, knowing that it's a Resident Evil 8, or should I just leave it as is and just be like, take what I saw at face value, and just like don't even don't try to piece anything.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was that it was Resident Evil 8. But then I started looking a bit more, and some things looked a little weird. So I thought maybe it's like, Silent Hills. And then it looked like there was like a werewolf possibly in this game. So I was like, oh, it can't be Resident Evil. And then I saw the umbrella insignia, and I was like, yeah, it's Resident Evil. And
Mm.
I kind of like the direction 7 went, and now 8, where it's more fear based and action based. Because like you're not like Chris Redfield, like ultra thug who punches boulders and claps like 100 niggas. Like you're just some
Yo,
regular
so
dude.
he clapped that person in the trailer.
Yeah,
Chris lit them up. The oh man, the silencer and all. Damn, Chris. Yeah, you're right. The fear is there. That's why I was thrown off. Where in the thing in the retrospect that I thought it was like a fear game, a fear type game, but like Silent Hill, like you said. Um, But not only was it like a Resident Evil title, that it's like, you know, even more so to the story of with you know, that it has Chris, because you saw how was it how Resident Evil 5 how Resident Evil 5 went.
Yeah, like I
And
like this new direction because I'd say from like 5 and 6 especially, like Resident Evil didn't really seem scary to me. It was just more disgusting. You know what I'm
right, and then like it got more like the like the more like the shooter aspect like started to come more. It became like that, and then it started to lean more into the shooters a little bit, where that wasn't where the game was focused on, right? That was another thing. Um, but I think with Biohazard, they're able to bring it back to the game, and you know, in the remakes, they're able to like rebuild the fear factor that people like Resident Evil to started with, and yeah, um, you know, maybe this is, you know, maybe I need to see more. I was just really surprised they did start like we are getting Resident Evil 8, or when we're hearing about it now. Because it feels like Resident Evil might be the title they're writing with. Because I mean, we just had the remake. They like, you know, we had, you know, the Resident Evil 3, and now we're getting hit with Resident Evil 8 uh, coming sometime. What was it, next year?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, so
Um,
I think they've been working a lot on Resident Evil from what it looks like in Capcom.
I want to give a quick shout out to the Sackboy game. It was cool to see Sackboy back. My man's been on a hiatus for like God knows how long. At least a
Oh,
console generation. Like I don't remember him having a game at all for PS4.
early on, just like I think it was just launch. I think it was around launch. Yeah,
And
Little Big Planet 3 was like the last.
that was
Little Big Planet 3 was last on PS3?
yeah, I thought that was on PS3.
Hmm.
I don't know, but it's been a while. Um, he has like a 4-player adventure kind of game that looks kind of lit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, and then also, what I mean, like he has Sack Girl with him or whatever. Call I called her Sackthot. The first thing that
Wow,
popped in my
bro.
head.
That's like his girl. That's his ride or die, you know, treating her like that. He don't appreciate that though.
I was like, yo, Sackthot out here, wow. And then I saw that there were 2 more. And I was like, all right, well, it's just a gang of sacks.
A gang of sacks? Is that what you know you creating terminology that don't need to be there, big dog.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Oh, that looks all right." Like it looked like a fun little adventure or whatever. Apparently, those little robots from the playroom got their own thing too. That looks interesting. Um, I'm super thankful that we didn't get another knack because just didn't care for the first
Yo.
one and didn't want to see
People
it.
say, "Where's Knack 3?" The chat. Where's Knack 3? I was all up in the chat, bro.
Yeah, they'd have been pissed if they showed it. Um, but
Oh
they also
man.
showed off a very short teaser of 2K21, which graphically looked pretty good.
Zion
Um,
Williams, right?
yeah, but we'll wait to see about that in general. Um, I think the big elephant in the room, though,
Ooh.
why everybody's probably watching this video, is our thoughts on the way this console looks.
Yep,
Uh,
let's get to the meat and potatoes. How does thing look to you, man?
Honestly, that shit looks weird, but I think it's a better looking console than the Series X.
All
And
right.
the reason why I say that is because the Series X literally is like a cube. You know what I mean? You remember how like Apple had the Mac Pro that looked like a trash can?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in the same vein where it's just like it looks modern, but it doesn't look like the next generation of console. Or with the PS5, the way they designed it, it it looks like it comes off as like the future of gaming towards you. You know what I'm saying? Like the white console with like the blue lights and accent from there. You know, the way the controller is designed, the connectors to the controllers, like all of that looks very futuristic. And so in your household, it's going to stand out compared to all your other consoles because the presence it has. Um, I don't particularly like that like ulcer it has on the side. It calls a disk drive.
As if you want it, you could just get the
Exactly.
digital. But even then, now you're like, I get it, but you're taking my drive away, a CD drive. I don't like that. The digital only, and I'm like, the digital only. I get it. There's people who want it appeals to, but
Well, that's what my consoles are now. Like I don't buy discs unless like I'm backed into a corner or there's like a really good, special edition of something that I want. But aside from that, like everything's digital. Like I just bought Xenoblade Chronicles, that's digital. Streets of Rage is only digital, so that worked. But so I'm kind of torn because I'm like I would prefer digital, but there may be cases where it's just like, oh, I want to borrow a game from somebody, and I can't do that if I have the digital only. So I guess for me, price point will be the deciding factor for me. Because if the price point is that big of a difference, then I might just go digital only and just take that hit. But if it's like $50, then like I'll just stick to the one with the disk drive and deal with that ulcer.
so that's the other thing. So the price. So let's not even get into like the whole price speculation or that part of it. Let's just go back to how it looks. So um,
Well,
I'm not
how do you think?
too. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not too big on it. I think for. I think it was a safe. I think it was a safe choice, but I don't think that is what the next generation of consoles look like to me. It looks more so than Series X. I think they both kind of let me down. I think I know that I see the direction they were going because it's pulling out features and like similar to you see like with Alienware and Alienware, their towers, their laptops, and things like
Yeah,
that,
very
which is
Alienware like.
which is good. And I think they should have. I feel like they should have went with that more. I feel like they play a little safe. And I see what the Xbox what they were trying to do, but again, I think that was a safe option. I think they really. I feel like every time, and then maybe that's just expectation. You know, because even though this time more than any, it feels like compared to when the PS4 was going to come out and the Xbox One. Um, but they really made like this is going to be the next like this generation of consoles be really big, and I do think this is going to be really big. And I know it just sounds redundant. We say this every couple of years, but this was the one that was going to be like a step into another direction. Like it was gonna elevate. We're gonna take like a step up in the realm for consoles. And I was thinking like, will the look reflect what the direction we're going? It does, but it feels a little weak. It kind of to me, it just feels weak.
I don't know.
As
Like I feel like it stands out more than the Xbox
that's
Series
fair,
X.
but I just put them both as weak. I just chop them up both as being weak. I just feel for all the controversy, especially around with the model kits for the PS5. I think it was like, and like I'm like, was it fake hype? I don't know. Were those also potential designs, and they really went with
Well,
this one?
so here's what I've been thinking, right? Like the console straight up and down looks kind of weird, but they did show a little bit of it sideways, and I didn't think it looked so bad. Up and down, it looks weird, especially with that bulge it has on the side. But then that bulge also leads me to question certain things, like how big is the media that we're going to be putting into that? Because every other console we have, the disk drive doesn't take up that much space. Like you look at your PS4 now, I mean, yeah, and then like I have a Wii U in front of me.
But the PS4
Like,
is able to mask it with its design, the size of the disk drive. I guess that does go to show, like, no matter how sleek they were trying to get, the fact is because of the disk drive, they had to, it had the ulcer, it had the
well,
tumor on the side.
we'll look at the render again because that slit where the disc is supposed to go looks pretty damn big. So
No,
I'm
no,
like,
exactly. No, I
so
agree with you.
so I don't know if it's even disc that we're putting into this thing.
Wait, you don't think it's gonna be disc? I think they're just gonna be.
Like, I think they were talking about like in some of the patent stuff where it was almost like it was almost like big ass cartridges that they were putting in, like tapes almost, with this data that they were putting into this, because they were also, remember that boring ass like technical presentation they had with Mark Cerny,
Oh
and they
yeah,
were
with
talking about their new
triangles
medium,
sometimes.
especially like the hard drives. No, way before that. Like with the hard
Oh,
drives and how these work now and how much storage it can keep on the games. I think that Sony is gonna like do another type of media again, like they did Blu-ray, and I think it's going to vastly differ from what it was before. Because again, if we're talking a normal Blu-ray disc, a Blu-ray players have gotten so much smaller and everything like that that it shouldn't take up that much real estate on you know, the console. But I think they're really dabbling into a new type of media here, and that's why that is
um,
so big. I'm okay being wrong, but something about that is a bit misleading. Where like, you know, there's no reason why the disk drive should take up that much space. Like they could have designed the console better. I feel like something about the sheer
it
size and how
still
big
just
that
looks,
is.
because at least with the insertion, you're like, all right, what's going in? It looks like a disk drive slit. I just think that I hope you're right, because I mean, once again, it does have to.
Bro, that shit looks big. Give it a beat. Compare that to like the consoles you have in your room right now.
Oh, with the disk drive and this, because it's because of the sleek design. I think that's just a fault of sleek design. Oh, I'm all my bad. I'm all over here. I'm not even in the shot. Hello, what's good, everybody? So I don't think that's because of. I think that's because of design. I don't know if that might be because of the disc. I think it's gonna. I think it is still gonna use the disc.
I'm looking at it now, and yeah, it did look bigger in the presentation than it did before. So I could be wrong. I think I am a bit more wrong, but even still, like I don't know. That should look way better, bigger when I looked at it before. But now that get a better look at it, never mind.
But to your point, though,
I do think they're gonna have like a bigger Blu-ray though to that point, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like crazy like I was suspecting.
So I know what's gonna happen is, like, it once is it's just the first look at it. I think over time I'm gonna be like, okay, we're gonna get adjusted to it. That's just what it is. Like, it looks like what it looks like is what it looks like. But I will definitely say, I won't. I
Ooh,
don't know
excuse me.
if I know if I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna be like, okay, these little features are cool. These little features are cool. They should have just went more ambitious with it, because, like, if you say you're gonna be for the future of it, future of gaming, I don't think that's what future of
Well,
gaming to me don't look like, to what, especially what PC gaming is gonna have, like, what their hardware can look like, and what you can have it look like. Like, why shouldn't that be attempted for consoles, especially consoles that don't even give you room for customization? Like, that's why I feel like it's lazy, as because this, I'm like this is what I gotta sit with for like the next X couple of years, until you come up with like a slim design, and even slimmer design, or other things like that. And that's why it's like, you might as well go ambitious, and then when you come up with your other sub designs, you might as well actually make them more slim redesigns, because it gives other people options. Like, you know what? Why I give my biggest gripe was because of how it looked. now I have this other option of how the console looks. I'm more pressed to get it now. I mean, there's still people like that. I just don't
Oh,
think because I could just envision what the other versions of the console is going to look like. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they have good ideas in store because I mean it's this is the first edition of the
yeah.
PS5.
What I will say is that like for the amount of hype and like mystery behind it, I felt like it was a bit of a letdown. But I do give it the fact that it has a better design than the Series X. Um, I feel like
I'll agree with you there. I'll agree with you there.
I feel like Sony's moving in a very Apple-like direction. Excuse me. Where when you look at all their products, like you saw the headset, you looked at the controller, the charger, like the HD camera and
It's
stuff
a
now.
set, yeah. It's come like you get to see the whole set.
Yeah, but I feel like they're taking a lot of design cues from Apple, where it has that very modern or almost kind of like luxury almost kind of look to it. Like you look at the
But
headset,
why?
it looks like it could have been an Apple product. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff looks like it could be Apple.
Yeah, no. When they package it that way, like they showed everything because that never really been their appeal of their products. Where as in like the headset, and usually it's just honestly when you see the like that's the secondary products. Now that's I guess that's not being regarded as secondary products anymore. Especially how like I guess like you'd say like how the AirPod game, how much Apple can generate like revenue from AirPods. Like I guess Sony's trying to get into that same type of feel that like each of this is a piece of the PS5, and then to enjoy everything like Apple, enjoy all the wonders and perks of you know being on the Apple OS and you being on Apple products, you gotta have all the Apple products.
Yeah,
Same thing with the PS5, it's gonna be the same thing. You gotta have all the pieces for Exodia.
yeah, they learned especially throughout the PS3 and PS4 life cycle, where like selling these things later doesn't very work very well. Like when you ingrain it in people's heads very early on that this is a part of the ecosystem, it works better rather than being like, 2, 3, 4 years in, hey, we got a headset that you should consider getting. And niggas is like, I already got my headset now. Like, I
And
don't want to
Turtle
buy that.
Beach, yeah.
Yeah, but when start people off like, all right, cool. Like this is the headset that you're gonna get. This is the console. These are the controllers. This is the charging dock you can get. Like, and not that necessarily you're going to get it, but it's already engraved in your mind what your options are, and that is the best option right now because it's the only option that they're giving. Third parties will come out, but it's better, especially from a consumer standpoint, to get introduced to the entire ecosystem as you can.
Especially formatted the way you can so that people are more accustomed to be like, oh, like if I need new headsets, like my first now I'm more inclined to think of going to the source, going to through Sony, PlayStation to get whether new headphones, what else do they have? They have their own charging docks. Like, yeah, that's the thing that you know that wasn't a thing um, with
Yeah, they've never had a
PlayStation.
charging dock.
They never had a charging dock. So now they intentionally mentioned like under the controller, getting two controllers or whatnot, it has its own charging dock. So now Sony has its own charging dock for the PS5. Again, you know, coming ahead of the third party because I'm looking at a third party PS4 charging dock, that I'm using and not the PlayStation one or whatever one they decide to come with later when I already solved that problem myself. So to your point, yeah, they're definitely packaging the PS5 differently, which might be a different move. Who knows in terms of how like Sony is gonna look at gaming socially. I think gaming socially is what's gonna change. Like
Yeah,
gaming socially might be is what uh I think it's what's gonna develop like at an alarming rate over the next couple of years. How people game with each other.
Yeah, and I think, with this, we very clearly see that all three of the big gaming companies have different missions with this. Like Nintendo is very like family oriented and stuff like that. So they carved themselves out from that. Microsoft is very much like they are about the gamer, but it seems they're more about like the hardcore gamer than Sony is, because Sony now is taking more of an Apple approach where it's just like, they're going to have comparable specs, but, they're better at selling that. It seems like they're going in that same direction of selling that ecosystem rather than just that one time experience. And they did a good job of, you know, kind of giving everything out to you at once during that presentation, because it's not like, game consoles aren't like phones where you would switch them every like 8 to 12 months. Some people do that. You buy that console, last you a couple years, and then if a
The goal
revision
is
comes out,
years. Yeah.
yeah, if a revision comes out, then you look at it like, all right, well, I might get that, but it's very important to nail that initial impression where it's like, hey, you know what? We got charging docks now. Look at the new headset that we had to accompany this. Look at the new HD
And
camera.
big dog.
Like,
I get. Oh, okay. You back?
yeah, like your controller comes with a microphone built in, but these new headsets match the console and everything like that.
I know.
Like laying all that stuff out early is what's important for them. And I feel like I said, they're taking more of an Apple approach with this. Like, I think they're going to have
Yeah.
good developers. I think they're going to have good, games in general. I think the big thing that's going to set, Microsoft and Sony apart is,
Right.
the initial, not even the price point so much. I feel like they'll land around the same. I think the launch window, the initial like first 6 months of the consoles being out, is what's going to set them apart.
And what message they're really trying to push, like you said, like if they're gonna like push a certain narrative. Well, like that's the thing too, though. Like the thing with like Apple, like you get to take everything you can on the go. Where like that's the one thing. Like the Apple ecosystem was always in the palm of your hand. Like with this, like that's why way I see it packaged that way is just like who like I see it and then I'm just like I don't buy it. I don't buy into it or I don't see it because like this like why does this matter? Like this console is gonna stay in the realms of my room, my house, my living room, whatever the case may be. Like what
Yeah, but
is
they're
the
not
appeal?
selling. They're not selling the mobility though. Like for Sony, they're not selling the mobility. They're selling
That
that.
that too, but it's the thing about being part of the ecosystem is knowing is one, letting other people know you're part of the ecosystem and being able to identify other people part of the ecosystem. So there needs to be something in place that will give that just tells people that I am part of the Sony PS5 ecosystem and something that will let me identify if you are so that we can like it's the same thing with like the AirPods, like the like the way they look, they already have like an iconic look, the way they look in your ear, that you could just put them, use them in memes and even like Photoshop them in, and then you could just make it like and it's identifiable like this person has AirPods. Like what's something that is going to make it
Well,
identifiable that this person has a PS5. And I mean, like
well,
socially.
I don't think that's something that game consoles really need to worry about. To be honest, like that was
And I don't
never a
see
thing.
that launch point. I don't see that's why that appeal of that launch, the way they package everything together, is pointless. And that's why I think
See,
they should have went more ambitious on the design.
well, so here's the thing, right? When it comes to consoles, like consoles, not handhelds, that was never a thought until the Switch, because the Switch is a portable console. That is the only way someone has a Switch, if they're pulling it out and playing it on the go. But like, you know, Sony doesn't really necessarily need that per se, because their fan base evangelizes them already. Like, the people, like, you don't need any visual cues that someone has a PlayStation. It's the verbal cues that are going to do that. You know, people are always like, "Yo, you trying to play this game? What do you got? You got on PlayStation or Xbox?" Like, you know, because of
Hmm.
the gaming is getting more social. You know, people are going to evangelize for the product for them. They don't need anything that like on the go or like visually that could show you. Now, granted, you may be able to use those headphones for like your phones or something like that, which that'd be a cool double feature. But
Yeah,
like
but
in
that's
the
not with
home
the
console
style of
game,
headphones nowadays. It's all about being small.
well, yes and no. Wireless ear
Yeah,
wireless earbuds do have a market, but the over ear headphones still have a very large market.
yeah, but I feel like just the general trend of the market is to get everything smaller, compact, thinner. And I don't think it would, because even Sony would just be like, because Sony already has their own earbuds. Like, why wouldn't that be the market? Yeah, like I see it. So it wouldn't like they wouldn't use that to market being sociable with those headphones. Well, I mean, that's just semantics. That's
Yeah,
not even relevant
I
for
mean,
the
I
question.
say that to say though, I don't think anyone, especially in the home console market, is worried about their external presence as far as like people being able to identify them. Like these are conversations gamers have all over the internet, like as far as like forums and Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Like
Yeah.
people were evangelizing for them. Where with Nintendo, they benefited from the fact that they have a portable console, so people are actually able to see, like, oh, this person has a Switch because they're pulling it out on the train. Same way they would tell if they had a 3DS or a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
But
but I don't
Sony and
think.
Microsoft has never been looking for that kind of presence.
I think they have been.
Well,
Not
they
not
did
yet.
with like the Vita and the PSP, but that's really it.
Yeah, I feel like that is still some way, like you said, I think there is still going to be some type of way to, like I'm telling you, like the gaming socially is going to develop over the next course of years. Like being able to have something on your phone, something on, I don't know, with AI technology being wild, something that'll just like pick up, like, oh, like other people in your vicinity or something, or being able to be like, oh, like I can find you in the cloud or something, like if you have it, what game you like, what console you have and stuff like that. Because there's got to be the push for it to be able to be. Because how is it going to be like people are walking down the street and then be able to look and see like, oh, that person it is on the PS5, PS6, PS6, PS10. Like, dang, I want to be like that. I want to be part of this
Yeah, but
ecosystem.
again, that's never been an issue until more so the Switch, because like
I think
you know
we don't have the technology to address it, which is why I think once the cloud, like the cloud thing, that's what it is, because that itself is a powerful market that just can't be ignored. Like
nah,
it's
they
not a
can
saying.
Pokemon Go this shit where like through
Yeah.
their app they can GPS track and see what people near you have registered their PS5 consoles to the app or whatever. You can identify that way. I just don't think it's a big concern of like Microsoft and Sony, because they're carving out necessarily what they're looking for. Like Microsoft failed a big, like Microsoft had a rocky start in the beginning because bundling with the Kinect, and then also trying to take over Nintendo's lane of like, oh, well, we're gonna do super family oriented stuff, blah blah blah, but then also dip our toe in to the more mature content like how Sony does. And then once they realize, they're like, all right, they just need to focus more so, excuse me, on the gamer and not so much like what the we nailed down really well. Then it's like cool. Like they were really trying to push Connect, and that upped the cost, and a lot of people didn't want to be forced to connect onto them
Mm-hmm.
because they were pushing this very like family friendly thing.
And some people
That's
who
Nintendo's
wanted
bag.
it does. Yeah.
Nintendo innovates on the way games are made, and they innovate on their family friendly content. Microsoft now has figured out where they're going to go, and Microsoft is doing a very Microsoft thing to do. They're marketing their Xbox similar to what they do with Windows. Sony sees an opportunity to do something different from them both, as now they're marketing it like Apple products. Don't be surprised if this has an Apple price tag too, because this is like the more you know Apple products, especially at a certain time, especially if you're on top of the latest of Apple, it kind of almost has like an elitist feel to it. Like you know, like
PS5, yeah, I'm looking at it like as if it's like an Apple product. You're right. It's
yeah,
marketed entirely. It's marketed different than.
and trust me, like you may not see somebody's iPhone or iPad and stuff like that, but when people get these things, they let you know they have it. When the iPhone 12 comes out, they're gonna be like, "Yo, I just got the iPhone 12." Like they're gonna show you
Something.
pictures, they're gonna show you your phone, like they're gonna evangelize because of the marketing behind that. They're creating a culture behind that. It's almost like the elite get this stuff, and it works. This is what works for Apple.
Hmm. I mean, everything with the color scheme and everything with the console. I was really looking forward for something, especially that build up. And I'm like, this is the console. I was like, yeah, bugging. But the controller, I don't know. I gotta feel it out in my hands to see how I really like the
Yeah,
controller.
I don't really like the controller either. That looks weird.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like honestly, like you know, up until the PS4, the controller was pretty solid. Now, like the controllers just look weird. Like
and that's the
PS5 looks more
direction.
like an Xbox controller than it does a PlayStation controller. I feel like.
And now this control, honestly, yeah. And then PS5 control, yeah, looks more like an Xbox, and the Xbox looks more like a PlayStation, or whatever the case
No, well, the
is.
Xbox One looks like an Xbox One controller, which like is fine. I guess we're not adjusting to a new controller, but I don't know. Well, time will tell about everything. I guess you know.
Yeah. But again, that was just like kind of like our brief overview of quote unquote brief overview of the PS5 PlayStation 5 reveal that happened just today, a couple hours ago. Um, Definitely check it out if you haven't. There's also games that we haven't covered that we will in other episodes, especially as time goes on, and to get more reveals, more interviews. A lot of this stuff was just trailers, announcements, and that's it. Um, Anything else you want to add on about the PlayStation 5 before we move on? I would say now into music. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I accidentally hit the space bar on that. We'll just have to see how things go. You know, with the price point and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm just the big question for me, depending on like if I decide I'm going to buy a console at launch, is like what is the first 6 months of release is going to be. I feel like that's going to really dictate how consoles move. Because Sony showed a lot of games, but I don't know which ones are going to be launched. It looks like Spider-Man might be one. If Ratchet and Clank is one that might push me over.
Yeah,
But then
Spider-Man looks like launch, which is very ambitious. They're starting strong.
yeah,
Um,
and then you know, with Microsoft, the only thing I really can remember off the top of my head that's going to be launched is Halo Infinite. So it'd just be
hmm.
interesting to see what other games because Microsoft's presentation was lackluster. Sony's was better for sure, but you know, it for
left
as long
left
as we've
left
been
more to be desired. Something
yeah.
like that.
So we'll just have to see how things go when we get more information about both.
No, yeah, I agree. Um, and definitely let us know what you guys thought of the PS5 reveal in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. We appreciate y'all and for checking us out. And we will definitely, once again, definitely be covering more content on the PS5 once more news comes in. And just going on from there, uh, I didn't have much for gaming in terms of major topics. And if you're down, I'm for transitioning to music.
No, that's it for gaming.
Word. Um, so let's get to it for music then, especially also for the sake of time. Uh, Going on this Gibbs album, definitely get some time to talk about this Freddie Gibbs's latest album, Alfredo.
Yeah, I've been listening to it for like what 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Um, he it feels like a lot of the songs were done in pretty close proximity to the release date. Can you hear me?
No, yeah, I can hear you.
Sounds
Yeah,
like I'm
I was just
breaking up
pulling
or
up.
something.
No, actually, no, you're coming out clear on my end.
Okay, cool.
Especially, I leaned into my mic a little more, so it's
Um,
just somewhere right.
but you know, because he mentioned stuff like the Jordan doc and stuff like that, and I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, I keep hearing weird shit. I hope it doesn't like translate into. Hold on, let me try this. Something.
Yeah, I mean, do what you gotta do. Check, check the sound. I don't hear anything on my end. You're coming out
All right.
clean for
Well,
me.
hopefully it doesn't translate into the recording. This shit, something's going on in my headphones. But nah, like he mentioned the Jordan doc a couple times, um, and a couple other things like about the current events in the world. Um, but aside from that, like he's had some dope songs on there. I think every feature on there was dope. Um,
Yeah,
this is an album I can listen to front to back, no problem. Uh, I still go back and listen to, Scotty Beam and Something to Rap About
something to
often.
rap about is clean.
Yeah, like he he had a song where he was featured on a couple months back. I forget who it was by, but it was a similar vibe to Something to Rap About. And like he murdered that. So it doesn't surprise me that, that song came out really good too. Um, but I think this is
Yeah,
a really well put together album by the Alchemist and Freddie. Like it's sequenced really well. Where again, you don't need to skip any tracks. Um,
everything flows. Everything, man. Like, no, for me, like you already know, like tracks for me that hit. I did like I did like Scotty Beam when especially when you put it on. Ross was he did actually said,
Ross was snapping, bro.
"Oh God, use a dictionary to write your."
My man said he wanted war, and then they hit him with a
Man,
cannonball. That's when my K. Rule started going nuts.
yo, I don't want to make gator shoes out of that, man. Next time I see him, okay?
Niggas is getting hit with cannonballs from going to war.
The cannonballs are stupid. I don't even talk about that man's cannonballs. Stupid. Nah, it's on a rap about Frank Lucas and
The joint with Benny the Butcher.
yeah, no, Frank
All of me.
Lucas.
No,
Oh,
sorry.
all of
No,
them.
Conway, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one too.
Babies and fools.
That was something that like I thought was dope because I don't listen to a lot of Conway, admittedly, but like the stuff I've heard from him was like super aggressive. So I wasn't expecting him to get a little more personal with it. I felt like he got a bit personal on that, and I thought that was dope.
Yeah, man. Like, I just have to say, like, the overall feel of the album, especially with like the times, like I feel like the album's just it just hits different on a lot of levels. Also, with just the time of the release, like you know, and like taking the nod to the album art itself. Um, like you have a black hand on around with like the puppeteer. I don't know what's called the grip, but
Yeah.
you have it attached to a plate of Alfredo, plate of spaghetti. But it's just a lot of what he's like, especially what his son to rap about. Like a lot what the messages and excuse me, all the messages like I'm getting like from the vibes from it when I really listen to it. Um, literally is about what's going on in the world today. Like what you said, like it really makes you wonder when he like wrote certain songs up to the release of the album, because they really were like they were talking about. He was talking about even the Doja Cat. What song was he talking about?
I forget. He's like, "Don't you care? Let me be from the bike." I was like, bro, I don't know if he. I was like, yo, I thought that was like the same week, if not like a week before, Doja Cat started getting blown up. So I was like,
I think it was a week after because I'm trying to remember. Like we dropped an episode talking about it. No, here's the thing about Alfredo. Like we we
I
had
don't
an
think we didn't
episode
talk
about
about it
it.
the week it came out.
No, we didn't. But it was after we recorded, and we were like, we're like, oh, we said peace, whatever. Like after we talked for a bit, and we got off Zoom. I went to Spotify. It was there, and I was like, I hate you that night. I was just like, yo, this album came out, and I think that might have been episode 6. After episode 6. Yeah, I guess it might have been after episode 6. So it was after that episode then, because we talked about Doja Cat before the album came out. I can even pull it up here. Yeah, Doja Cat. We talked about her episode 6.
Yeah.
But honestly, bringing it back to the album, it speaks a lot to the tribulations of just being a black man, and just like what Freddie Gibbs' experiences are. And he just basically just saying, he was literally just saying, he was just like, this, like, I've always been experiencing this. This is shit I go through on the daily. I've been, this is shit he'd be rapping about. Like, this ain't nothing new. It's just like, it was just weird to hear. It was just weird to hear that type of like the messages he was just talking about in his music, just with while everything was going on, like kind of like everything happened in like time. It was like timed well, or it would just seem like it was all, everything happened for a reason. Like this album was gonna come out at this date and this time. Who knows? That was already like agreed on, looked at, predetermined. That's what I'm looking for. The word predetermined.
Yeah, it's funny because he kind of alluded to it. Cause he was saying it's like in one of the songs. I think it was like the intro or something. He was like, "It's like I came back from the future with a rap almanac or something to that extent." And it's like, yeah, like that's a credit to like modern recording because he probably got like a studio at his crib where he's like, "Yo, send me these beats. I'm about to rap." Send it to Alchemist, got it mixed down and stuff like that. And then from there, they're like, all right, let's put it out. Like, let's not wait. It's a perfect time to put out good music. Because, like, for all the music that, people normally like to turn up to and stuff like that, because they have nowhere to turn up, it ain't doing too crazy. Like, it's doing all right. But, like, music like, Gibbs' joint, like, it's something that you can really sit with and work on. Like it's doing pretty good. I think it's doing better than what it normally would have done, like had there been no pandemic.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's just like the message. If this was the album he was gonna drop regardless, then I was like, and it's either the timing is just crazy that I wouldn't like this message wouldn't resonate if it wasn't like some of the things we talked about or some of the events that happened this pandemic or the pandemic itself. Um, so it's just like, does that even speaks to the? Because I think this is a really great album. Like, it's really good. I can't when I start listening to it, I can't skip tracks, legit forward back. Um, it's something to rap about. Like you just want to like you listen to that on a sunny day.
Tyler snapped on that too.
He went off on that.
Yeah, he snapped.
And that's one thing too. Like we got to see some Tyler. We got to see Tyler that we didn't get to see on Igor. Like that's what it was.
You got a little bit of that on Igor, but that was more like Cherry Bomb and like Flower Boy that you got that stuff.
Oh, I'm saying Tyler went off. The joint is great, and I think that's part of the. I guess you could say what we talked about with Dre, the mystique of this that the album has is just around the time that it dropped. Is pretty much add volumes to it, and I can just tell with just the traction it's just getting just looking at Spotify. It's kind of and it's it's good. No, it's a really good album.
Yeah, so I think this would be interesting or whatever. So
I would say, well, one thing I would say I would
It's
say to
definitely
you
my
is
top albums of the year for sure.
like, so you, cause me, like I said, when we talked, on one episode, I recently said I started listening to Gibbs. Like, how would you compare this album to like his other bodies of work? Um, just in the spec that, because I went back to some song like Crime Pays. Like, how's it stand to a Crime Pays, Palm Olive, Bandana, like his last project. How does it kind of stand to that?
That's tough because um, I didn't listen to Pinata, which was the first one with Madlib, so I got to go back and listen to that. Um, I might edge it to this one, Alfredo. I mean, Bandana was hard, but I got to listen to Bandana again. Like, listen to
Okay.
them both in one sitting and be like, all right, well, maybe because this one is like fresh, where I'm like, nah, this one might be harder. But both of them are really good. Like, I don't think Freddie has put out like Freddie's been on a tear since like the Freddie album. Like he had the collab with Currency after that, the Fetty, and then he did, you know, Bandana and now Alfredo. Like he's just been like on a tear. I think he's found really his niche where it's just like
His
he,
sound.
yeah, I think he found like his pocket where he's like, all right, I could go in on these type of beats and really like, body shit and like get really good reception. Because I think before, like, the sound he was going with before, um, it was a bit trappy, but then he also kind of like showed a bit of his like humor and personality and skits like that. I think like these type of beats and this kind of feel give more weight, like give him more space to do that.
Mm. Yeah, and something about the the tracks, the mood he was trying to set. Because I feel like it was. I would say this with Crime Pays. Like when I first hear Crime Pays, like it was like the mood was kind of offsetting to me. Like when I first heard the song, like, that's why at first I couldn't get into it until I was like, let me more. I couldn't get into it just by like the mood he was setting with like the beat until when I started listening to it, and then I was like, okay, like I'm forming a picture around like what he's saying and everything like that. But with Alfredo, when I compare it to like Frank Lucas, like when it starts, like I get like the beat gives me like the grime, like the feel of like what it means to like the story of Frank Lucas. Like you get like it's just the feeling and emotion you get, just like, being one of the greatest drug dealers to ever to live, to give a title to that when you're pushing cocaine, cutting out the middleman between you and Asia, dog, and that. Like I'm just basically just kind of like because you get interpretations of Frank Lucas and other music and stuff like that, especially when you get Benny the Butcher on it, because he's just like,
Yeah, but he had the super drug dealer with I think it was Palm Olive that had Pusha T on it. That's like
yeah,
the drug dealer in rap. You don't get more
that's
drug dealer than that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm just like, dang, maybe he should have had push for Frank Lucas. Like, I don't know. Like, it was like I don't know. Like, I think that was drug. Okay, that's what I was trying to. Damn, you're right. Because I do. I still listen to Palm Olive on the daily, and I was like, that's the drug dealer. That's the track that you get to literally sit in the shoes of a drug dealer, and you get that. You'll get a whiff of it, like that life. But like Frank Lucas gave like you get to see like that life of not just somebody that was a drug dealer, but somebody that was doing what no drug dealer dared to do. Like, I don't like it was like it just gave it just like the feel of it of just like what came with that. Like to attempt what he did and what came with it. Like I was able to feel that just when the song started, like off the beat of us just like uh I don't know what the sample is at the very beginning. I don't know if it's a recording of Frank Lucas himself.
Oh yeah, I don't know off the top of my head either.
I don't either. I might just just look at, but like I just get like the mood of the like I'm saying, but he sets the mood, and then when he comes in and just like, and he just goes off and he's like lays his bar, lays his bar. It's like I'm able. That's why I could sit and hear and just listen to this album forward and back when compared to like Bandana was like 2 sittings. Like when I listened to Bandana, it took me like 2 sittings to listen to it. Like this album, I listened to it like twice and didn't know I was on my second playthrough. Like I had to like check. I'm like, how long is this album? I'm like, wait, I already listened to it. It's on loop. Like it's just on loop. So just to sum up, what I just said, that yeah, like something about the sound, yeah, like he found like the sound that is in, like he's saying, in his pocket. That's not an understatement, because I think for me, that's why I tried to listen to Gibbs before until I really had to sit down to listen to Gibbs when you were telling me to listen to Freddie Gibbs. And that's why I was like, you know what, I'm hip, And then he came out with this album, and now I can't stop listening to it. Like I can't stop listening to this album. Like, and I think he nailed on the head what you were just talking about, basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think he really nailed down like his direction with this one for sure. Um, again, I don't know if I can say this is better than Pinata yet, because especially Crime Pays alone was like, oh nah, this nigga gets out here wilding, bro. Like that Crime Pays is crazy.
Like Crime Pays, like I couldn't when I first listened to it, I was like, all right, this was I was like, cool. I don't know. When I first listened to it, I was just listening to it. Then I like when I went back to Gibbs, because I was like, I guess I got hit to like practice and like was it 40 Carat Jesus, like shit like that. I was like, what? When I got hip to that, then I went back to Crime Pays and I actually listened. Like I actually really listened to Crime Pays. Crime Pays is nuts. It is when it gets to the middle, like it's like, bro.
Yo, that nigga was rapping too, like,
and the
bro,
production on that is crazy. I was like,
like
crazy.
the nigga does stuff with his flow that I can't do class asthma. Like, like this nigga be like fit a lot of words in like one bar, and it doesn't feel corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I usually
Yeah,
have a problem with niggas like rapping fast and trying to fit a bunch of words into a bar because it comes off as like really corny. But like Freddie's like still a gangster doing it.
he is still a gangster dude.
Um, but yeah, I definitely recommend this album for anybody that hasn't listened to it. Definitely listen to it. It's a really good album. I'd even backtrack and go listen to some of his older stuff too, because like he's been a super consistent artist. But I've really been like on Freddie since the Freddie album. Like for me at least, like I've heard Gibbs a lot before, but the Freddie album was the one I sat down and really listened to. And then from there, like it's been crazy since.
I hear you. I'm here. I'm still getting him. I'm still going back through his old stuff.
Yeah,
But
like I
right
showed you
now
in Byron that automatic, yo. That automatic is hard.
bro. I'm
The fact that that's not
yeah.
on your gym playlist is a disservice.
What I got? No, it's crazy. I have Palm Olive on my gym playlist.
Yo, when you hear automatic, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get those extra reps in. I have no choice.
Bruh. Would I be bumping on 20 at 20 Carat Jesus? That Uno dog. Oof. Yo, but yeah, I think that wraps it up with the review pretty much for Alfredo. If those listening, if you peeked, if you listen, let us know what you think of the album in the comments. Definitely want to hear what people got to say. I think the album was fuego. Let us know what you
It's
think.
probably my favorite album of the year so far.
So far,
It'll
I'm with
definitely
you.
be on my top albums of the year.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm listening to this. Like, I had to stop myself from listening to this album. I try to listen to one track, and I'm like, dang it, I listened to the whole album again. I'm like, son of a diddly. Like, I'm like, damn.
God dang it.
God dang it. No. Yeah, like,
Um,
dang it, I did listen to the album again. Like that, all right.
but no, I'm good for topics for this week. You got anything else you want to talk about, or?
Oh no, that about wraps it up for this episode. Episode 8, FloorSeats. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. We'll just give it one quick rundown. Um, yeah, I think that's all for now. I mean, besides, we're gonna see about getting more guests, get more people on the podcast for you guys. I know still with Corona and the slow transition to reopening. We definitely want to kick things up with our show structure, get more people in, like Dave, get Dave back, get some other people in the community, FGC. But more on that. But definitely, that's probably the one thing I'll update. I would say. More on that soon.
All right, cool. Make sure you guys check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts. We should be on Apple as well soon, if not already. Then also, we check out our show, Defend It, our comedy debate show. We just dropped episode 2 last week. Episode 3 is going to come out in 2 days from this episode's release. So definitely check it out. Give us feedback on that. And let us know on Instagram what you think of us and our topics. Give us some topics for that show too. You'll find all the links in the description. And that's it for me. So we will see you guys next week. Everybody be safe. We out.
Be easy. Peace.